Hi, I'm Alex, and today I will be talking about child's pose, which is a very common pose in a lot of yoga practices and is usually used as a resting pose. However, if this pose isn't comfortable for you or it's not very accessible for you, then it doesn't really serve the purpose of being a resting pose, and we tend to actually be causing more tension and more stress in the body. So hopefully with some of these modifications it can help you find peace in child's pose. So I'm just going to start with a very standard child's pose. Bring the big toes together, knees apart, and then often we are told to walk the hands out, rest the torso, and just let the head sink all the way down to the mat. This is very inaccessible for some people, especially if you have tight hips, and people often tend to kind of be straining to try and reach their forehead on the mat, which can cause tension in their neck, and it can often activate the muscles in your stomach, which you're not really trying to do in this resting pose. So my first modification is very simple, and it's just to grab a block or a book and bring the floor closer to you, so that when you come into your child's pose, you can rest your head on the block or on the book and feel that there is less tension in your neck and you can relax your body more. If you don't have a block or a book accessible to you, you can always grab your fists, stack them on top of one another and place your head on your fists. And hopefully this might give you more comfort in this pose. The second modification is that I often see people when they come into child's pose, they can't bring their stomach close to their thighs because of tension or tightness in the hips. Often a lot of senior citizens experience this, and their child pose kind of tends to look a bit like this, which, as you can see, I'm really rounding my back, I'm really using the muscles to hold me here. So again, it doesn't serve the purpose of being a resting pose. So in order to relax the torso, you're going to bring your thighs closer to you. So take two blocks and just place them on the top of your thighs, so that when you come into your child's pose, you can relax your back and your stomach muscles and place all the weight on the blocks. And again, bring your hands in front of you and just try and soften your torso, wrapping the biceps out so that you're making space in your collarbones and hopefully finding some more comfort in this pose. If you find it really uncomfortable with the blocks digging in your hips, another alternative is to put the blocks in front of you, grab a pillow or a bolster, pop it on top of the blocks, and then use that as the foundation for your child's pose. So then you can rest your torso over the pillow, and if you notice your hips coming up a bit, that is completely fine. And hopefully, again, you can find rest in this pose. Another problem that I tend to see in child's pose is that we're always told that you want to bring your sit bones down to your heels, but this isn't always accessible for people, especially if you're really muscular or if you have bigger calves. So again, you can just grab your block, place it underneath your sit bones so that you can relax the bottom of your body and not feel like you're holding it up with your muscles. And then again, come down to the mat, and if you need, you can bring your block, your second block, and place your forehead on that. And again, finding more comfort. And if you do want to go for the more traditional child's pose where you wrap your arms around you, again, hopefully in this position you don't feel like you are holding yourself there, you feel like you can relax more in this pose. And then the very last modification I have, which was inspired by a video I saw by a channel called Body Positive Yoga, which I will put a link to the video down below in the description, is to just take the child's pose and flip it on its back so that you are in child's pose but lying on your back, and you can bring your knees into your chest, open your knees up a bit, and just hopefully this will be a lot more relaxing than the standard child's pose. And I know that for many people they might feel maybe embarrassed or feel like they are confusing people if they do it in their yoga practice, but remember that not everybody is the same, and whatever works for you is good enough. Thank you very much for watching this video, and I hope this helps with your child's pose.